Morning all, I am Mahin Fatima studying CSM in Srinivas Ramanujan Institute of Technology. My English assignment topic is active voice and passive voice. Let's go into the topic. First, let me explain outline, voice and types of voice, active voice and passive voice structures, rules for conversion of active voice and passive voice with examples, and last conclusion. Now first I'm gonna explain about the voice. What is meant by voice? The voice of a verb is a verb that expresses whether the subject in a sentence has performed or received the action. For example, the watchman opens the door. The door is opened by the watchman. In the first sentence, the form of the verb shows that the subject does something, that is, the subject has performed or done something. So the verb opens is said to be active. In the second sentence, verb shows that subject has received something, so verb opened is said to be passive voice. Next slide. We have two types of voice of verb, that is first active voice and next passive voice. What is active voice? Active voice indicates that the subject of the verb is the doer of the action. Example: birds build nests. He writes essay. Next, passive voice. When the subject is expressed by the verb is received by the subject, it is passive voice. In passive sentence, the subject and the object flip-flop, like the interchange. Subject and object gets interchanged. The subject becomes the passive recipient of the action because their subject is being acted upon. We can see with examples like nests are built by birds. An essay is written by him. And then we go to structure. The active voice we can write is the normal form of active voice is subject plus verb plus object, and the structure of passive voice is object plus helping verb plus V3 plus by plus object. Here you can see object and subject are interchanged in passive voice. There are some important rules for conversion of active voice and passive voice. First rule is identify subject and object in the sentence. And second rule is then interchange the object and subject with each other, that is, object of the active sentence becomes the subject of the passive sentence. Next, rule 3 is change the base verb in the active sentence into past participle in the passive sentence. Like, we should change the active sentence in past participle. Past participle means V3 form. And next, rule 4 is use by before the subject in passive form. And rule 5 is the pronoun in the sentence will also be interchanged. Some commonly used pronouns like I, we, he, she, they, you, it. And the corresponding passive voice form is I is changed to me, we changes to us, he changes to him, she changes to her, they changes to them, and you and it remains the same in passive form. And next, rule 6 is use the suitable helping verb or auxiliary verb like am, is, or, was, were, and so on. There is one exception to the rule. No passive voice formation for sentences like present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, future perfect continuous tense, and future continuous tense. Here is one such example of it. And next, We have some examples of active sentences like Sheena does the homework, she cares for the rabbit, they are eating bananas, Santa is playing the piano, Sita loves Savitri, the mason is building the pillar, the peon opened the gate, some girls were helping the wounded man. And the corresponding passive sentences for that is homework is done by Sheena, the rabbit is being cared for by her, the bananas are being eaten by them, a piano is being played by Santa, Savitri is loved by Sita, the wall is being built by the mason, the gate was opened by the peon, the wounded man being helped by some boys. And at last, to conclude, active voice and passive voice are determined by the relationship of the subject and the verb in a sentence. We can say if the subject is the doer of the action, it is active voice, and if the subject is recipient of the action, it is passive voice. There is one famous quote by William David Hyde. It is like live in the active voice rather than passive. Think more about what you happened than what is happening to you. This is by William David Hyde. Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I hope you found this presentation insightful. Have a nice day.